Okay, everyone, here we go. And we're going live now. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Dave. You're off a little bit to the side there.
Yes, somebody bugged my camera here a little bit. There we go. That's a little better. All right. Hey, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Hang on just a second. Let me fix this a little bit more. Okay, now. Well, as you can see, we've got news, and that is that Milton has now been upgraded just in the last little bit to another Cat 5 backup, where it had been a Cat 4 when it dragged across this part of the Yucatan Peninsula, and that knocked it down to a Cat 4, but now it's back up to a Cat 5, and nasty, nasty, nasty storm. It's 200-mile-an-hour wind gust. Gosh, can you imagine? 200-mile-an-hour winds. My goodness. You know, I don't know what to say.
I don't think anybody can imagine, because most people who've seen that kind of a wind gust haven't survived it.
No, and it's just horrible. It's horrible what's happening to our country and to this. This is just absolutely terrible. The only good thing that well, there is no good thing.
Not about this one.
No, the only thing is at least it's coming back and not going up the part that had already been hit, and that's. I mean, that was a fear at first when we started seeing this form. You know, I talked to you about this a good while back.
Right.
And I have warned about the Gulf waters being so warm and what would happen. And it has, our biggest fears have occurred. And hopefully this will cool off these Gulf waters, and hopefully the cool air that's coming in that we're now enjoying in our part of the world. That high pressure is trying to deflect this stuff off to the south. If not, this would have come right on up in just about the same areas it had done before that Helene came through. But, you know, all we can say is thank God it didn't happen. But we're going to look around at this. This is going to come ashore. Right now it's expected to weaken again. I think it's expected to come ashore at around 11 p.m. Wednesday evening. Isn't that about right?
That's right. About 11 p.m. Wednesday evening, probably coming ashore as a Cat 3.
Yep. In fact, that's what it's showing right here. At that point, the wind speed's 125 miles an hour, but doggone, even 125-mile-an-hour wind is a tough wind speed to have to handle.
That is a higher end Cat 3, too, by the way. The cutoff is 129 miles an hour.
So
is the top of the Cat 3.
You know, this is probably the worst nightmare, and I hope people down here have heeded the warnings. They've told people to evacuate. Do not stay. You will not survive if you stay anywhere along that coast. I think all of Tampa has pretty much been evacuated. I saw pictures of lines and lines of cars on the interstate going north. I believe it was Interstate
4 is what heads out of there.
Yeah.
4 over to 25, 4 over to 75.
Yeah, 75 was backed up. No gas to be found anywhere. Vehicles running out of gas. They're going to be stranded, and they're going to be stuck there unless they find some way to get out of there before this thing hits. So I'm going to look at some of this stuff, but here's the exact path it's expected to take. If you live around Orlando, I hope around Orlando you take cover, because you're going to be a little bit lulled into a false sense of security because you're away from the coast, but this is a strong hurricane. I mean...
Yeah. And matter of fact, the last indicator from the previous one showed the storm strength when it was just south of Orlando to still be a Cat 2 hurricane.
Well, you know, let's just hope that this right here will not be as bad as it looks. And even when it gets to the east coast of Florida, it's still going to be a Cat 1 hurricane. And when it gets out in the ocean, it's going to still be a hurricane.
Right.
This is just
terrible.
It
will slowly diminish as it heads off to the east. By the time it gets over south of Bermuda, it's going to be just a tropical storm, but it's still going to be a very strong tropical storm as it heads off to the east and northeast from there.
Well, I want to tell you, if you have family down there, it may be too late to get them out. I don't know. The situation is pretty tough. Hopefully they've got a full tank of gas and can move on up far enough north they get out of the path of the worst of it. Because 200-mile-an-hour winds, when it hits that coast. Let's look at this camera here. This is one of the cameras that Vince Welty has set up. My goodness. They're trying to get rid of all this debris and stuff. Looks like
those are the remnants. That's stuff that was affected by the storm surge from Helene as it went by.
I know. So it's going across the same areas. It looks like they're getting plywood to maybe use on some windows somewhere else out of the debris pile. But gee, it's just a shame that this is having to take place. Excuse me. And that was at Siesta Key, Florida. Let's see here. There's some more. Let's go down here to Inglewood and see what it looks like. This is the beach and deserted.
That's a good shot to watch for what kind of effects the storm is having as it comes in.
Imagine within 24 hours, it's going to be a whole different scene. And we're going to be going live tomorrow in our normal weekly midweek update. But my gosh, but at least the good thing is it's completely deserted. It's a ghost town. There's one lone person that is walking around out there acting like he's acting. So, that's not a good thing. Let's see.
We have a visitor out here in the room, so I was just telling him what was going on.
Oh, okay. Who's a visitor? You know?
Who are you?
I'm Dana with Christian County Now.
Oh, yeah. Tell her we'll be with her here in just a second. She can.
We'll be here with you in just a few minutes. We're on live giving everybody an update on Hurricane Milton. Oh, you're fine where you're at if you want to hang out.
Okay. And as you look at this beach scene, this is Brandenburg, or Anna Maria Island, actually. Anna Maria Island. And it looks like that the nothing.
It's a pretty place, but I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to be anywhere near that structure that's out at the end of the dock there. That looks like probably a restaurant or something. So,
and we'll move on up here just north of St. Petersburg. I think we looked at this camera earlier. Thanks to Vince Wilty for putting these out. Well, come on here. There we go. Mitchell Beach, Florida. Again, this is going to be a pretty good scene to be able to watch this as it comes in. You can already see the clouds out here in the west, but it's nothing like what it's going to be. If I get out of this, I'm going to go down here and let's look at the buoy. Let's see if we can find one here close. Well, really,
there's none working that are very close.
No, they're not working, but I'll try this one, see if it can get an eyeball on it. You can see the waves pretty choppy. But no, it's not close enough to get much into it because it's a good little ways off. Yep. But again, everything in this entire area in pink is under a hurricane warning. And
yesterday the east coast of Florida over by Daytona and down through there and Cape Canaveral was under a watch. Today they're completely under a warning all the way across the state of Florida there.
Yeah. So I hate that this is happening for Florida. It seemed like we just got done with one disaster. Now we got another we're going to have to face. But I can tell you, Florida is pretty resilient. I've seen them go through some stuff. But now this right here is probably the most powerful storm that has hit Florida in many years, if ever.
One saving thing, if it holds to where they're showing and it goes in south of Tampa Bay, the storm surge will be a bit less than if it came in right in or north of Tampa Bay.
Well, let's hope this is the case, because if it goes in here and backs all that water up into here, Tampa will be no more, probably.
Yeah, it wouldn't be good at all.
No, it would not. Let's see who this is. This is our old friend Brandon Kopic. He's down there doing some coverage. Again, looks like they're getting a little bit of shower activity already. They've
been getting rain showers on and off all day. There is a little bit of a front in the area down there, believe it or not. So they've been getting some rain. So they'll get some rain ahead of the actual hurricane coming in.
Yeah, here is the radar from that area, and you can see, wow, the outside bands of this is already starting to make its way inland. Let me see, put it into motion, see what, see, that's definitely off the hurricane. So anyway, it looks like these storms just kind of trending across the same area. It's going to be some heavy rains there. I tell you, it's just not going to be good weather at all for folks.
Of course, in Florida, it rains like at 4 o'clock every day.
Yeah, so. Yeah, and I've been there, and even those rains are not nice rains. They're pretty intense. And I was down there one time. I thought I'd done gotten in a hurricane. I said, "Oh my goodness, I don't want to go through this again." But anyway. So this is the purpose of our briefing today. We wanted to talk a little bit. This is not a scheduled briefing, but, we wanted to make sure that everybody understood what's going on here and how dangerous. This is a historic storm, or we wouldn't be doing this right now. But it has the possibilities of doing catastrophic damage. And again, unfortunately, for anybody who doesn't evacuate, there could be quite a few casualties. Let's hope that's not the case. I just hope that people heeded the warnings, and everyone that could get out did get out. Like I said, if they at least get north of this area, they're going to get some nasty weather, but it won't be nothing like if you were going to have to stay in here, in this central part where you see the purple.
Thing of it is, Dave, there's a whole lot of places down through there that have mobile homes.
Oh, yeah.
And they are not going to stand up well at all through all this.
Right. What in the world? Okay, I got it now.
That was a cell phone ringtone, folks.
That's right. It's nothing to worry about because you're allowed to play cell phone ringtones, even if it's just a short one. But anyway, just want to let you know that this is not a good situation. And let's hope that it doesn't get worse. Let's hope it stays to the south of Tampa. If it does, then maybe it won't be nearly as bad as it could be. But right now, the way things are, I wouldn't hold my breath on any of it. So there we are.
No matter what, this is going to be a catastrophic event. This part of Florida has not seen an event like this for over 100 years.
Yeah, and I saw somewhere where, if it had stayed out over these Gulf waters much longer, it could have gone even, I don't know.
They already said when it intensified so quickly to that Cat 5 before, I saw a report from one physicist that said that it had reached the maximum wind speed the atmosphere could possibly reach in that particular area at that time.
I know we don't have a Cat 6, but this one right here might have qualified for it if we had kept on going like it is. So, the saving grace there is the Yucatan did cause some friction. It slowed the wind speeds down just a little bit. So it dropped back down to a Cat 4. But now as soon as it got clear of that friction and got over the open water again, right back up to a Cat 5. And it's going to be really into the Cat 5s here pretty quick. Yeah, this right here is the wind fields. Look how far out it's stretching. This thing's growing larger, isn't it?
It is, and that was what the forecast called for. It is so, if you looked at the satellite, the eye on this is so compact. At one time, the eye was only 3.8 miles across.
Yeah, I thought, hey, that's not gonna be a big deal. It's a small storm, big deal. But
yeah, tighter, smaller, and more concentrated. But as it begins to expand out, your wind speeds will slow down, but your problems with the storm will start to cover a wider and wider area.
Yeah, and let me see if I want to look at some of the satellite imagery. Let's try the visible. And let me carry it over here to you.
Yeah.
Hold on just a second. Here we go. And man, you can see that eye now. It is quite visible. In fact, you were showing me
it was an IR shot I was showing you earlier that shows right there in the center, close to the center, you start seeing cloud tops or clouds that are showing pink on the infrared. Pink on the infrared is like minus 80 to minus 90 degrees Celsius. And that is up in the very, very highest part of the atmosphere. That's how strong those storms are. And that just indicates how powerful this storm is.
Well, you can just see as you look at this eye, you can almost see it. And let's see if I can zoom in a little bit on this. Give me just a second. Well, it's not going to let me do it what I want to do, but hold on a minute. Let me adjust the screen a little better. There we go. Yeah. You can get a better look at that eye, and man, look at that. You can just, that's an engine. That is a weather engine right there, Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So
all the moisture and heat it's sucking in at the bottom is being pushed up to the top and flowing along that way. So that's why your bands kind of seem like they expand outward as they spin out from that.
Right. And of course, here's the latest from the National Hurricane Center. I need to probably take that back out just a little. Now I get zoomed in and it wants to go too far. Here we go. So you get a better idea here. This is what it's looking like right now, and it's going to move across, still be a hurricane, but then it'll become a tropical storm by 7 a.m. on Friday. That's a long ways off, though. This
Yep.
whole area in shipping, gosh, you're going to have to avoid all that. And look at these islands; they're going to be having problems. They got tropical storm warnings out across those. I think that's it's not the Bahamas.
Those are the Bahamas.
Well, I thought, okay, then here's Bahamas. I thought that might have been Bermuda. No,
Bermuda's way up there.
here. Yeah, I see it now. So anyway, you can get an idea of how bad this is. Thank God, other than right here, this part of the country is going to be spared a lot of it. We do have some tropical storm warnings along the South Carolina and Georgia coast, but I think that's more of from the winds. It's going to be the main part of the
That also
hurricane.
shows you how much that storm's going to expand
Right.
as
right.
it gets close to shore and those winds slow down a little bit.
That's exactly right. And let me see. I want to look one more thing, though, if I can find it. Let's look at the rainfall potential. And here we've got in this red 12 inches of rain possible. And just offshore up to 16 inches of rain. So a lot of heavy rain, but it seems like it has eased up on the amounts just a tad. I saw where they were expecting up to 16 inches even inland, but that has changed some. So
You have to remember that most of Florida, though, is fairly flat,
yep,
and that most of Florida is no more than like 6 feet above sea level
yeah,
as
okay.
far as its elevation wise. So that much rain, the sand is pretty porous, but it doesn't have a big area to go.
Right. So I'm going to look back up here, excuse me, around this part of the country. Again, if I call up our radar here, nothing. It is
Yeah.
a nice place, and everything looks good. I think that we've got good weather, beautiful weather, actually. You wake up this morning, it was nice and crisp, and you sit outside, and, oh, man, it looks it's almost enough to see your breath, you know. But anyway, I don't want to hold everybody up too long on this. We just wanted to break in here and talk about this, this,
Just a catastrophic storm that's coming on, and do our due diligence and do our absolute best to tell anybody who might listen to this, or if
Right.
you have relatives or friends down this way, tell them to please take this seriously. This is not to be messed with.
yeah, it's almost too late.
Not-
It's almost too late to get out of there. Hopefully they can, but I tell you, I saw the roads. They are packed, people trying to get away. So
Yeah.
I do want to real quick look at everybody on here. We got Dave, that friend Dave is on here. Thank goodness. Hi, Dave. Good to see you, buddy. Linda McElrath is on, and Stephanie Roke is on. She says, hi, gentlemen. Stephanie, I thought maybe you might come by the meeting this evening, but I guess she's going to be tied up. But anyway, Dave says, crazy cousins boarded up their windows, and they are hunkering down. I told them to go to Atlanta or wherever, and I'll pay the hotel. Very worried about them. Yeah. I don't know what part of Florida they're in, Dave, but I would, well, he says Temple Terrace, Florida. Okay, so, yeah, that's not going to be good, but hopefully they'll be fine. Melanie Coleman is saying, Dave, she thinks it's very kind of you, and you're a
Yeah.
kind person. We all know that. Chris Meacham says, good evening, Thunder Buddies. And Tmu03 says, been coordinating relief flights to North Carolina. Looks like Florida will be next, and it will.
I'm afraid so, yes.
Yeah. Mary Vorvis says, hi, David Mark. Dave, I have a friend who is not leaving Tampa. Several of us begged him to leave, so there's some who are just staying, which is crazy. And yes, it is crazy. I hope you, I'm not even going to say it. I just hope that you pray for him. We should all pray for him and any of those who are choosing to stay, because this is not something to mess with. Melanie Coleman says, I just joined. Is the latest update still tracking towards Tampa? Actually, the latest update shows it just going slightly south of Tampa. Isn't that right, Mark?
Slightly south of Tampa,
Let's
but it's
move
still
back down.
south of Tampa, south of Orlando, and then off to the East Coast like that. But this storm is going to be strong enough and big enough that you're not, just because it goes a little bit south doesn't mean everybody's going to escape it.
Right.
The good thing about, as I said earlier, about it going a little south is it may not push the storm surge into Tampa Bay quite as much.
Yeah. So that's the only good thing about that, is that it is going just slightly further south, and you can see this is a big funnel for high water. The storm surge in there would be much more than anywhere else because of the topography there.
Yeah. And just because it's south on this one, it may wobble back north. You know,
Right.
these things don't keep just a steady, even course. They have no rudder.
Dave says, I won't be able to sleep. Dave, you know, I wish I could say something comforting to you. There's not much you can say. You cannot worry about other people's actions. You have no control over that. So you've done the best you could. You made all the offers you could. When you've done all you can, that's all you can do. And so try not to let it bother you. I hope it's going to be fine. And we'll know in about 24 hours about where it's going to actually hit and how bad it's going to be. But, you know, we will do another update on this tomorrow, just so everybody will know. Tomorrow afternoon and evening, as we do the normal midweek update. Dave says it's truly crazy. Let's see here. Jackie Mattis says, hey, y'all. And Linda McElroy says she has a sister near Jacksonville and a brother in the space construction area.
Space Coast.
Oh, I'm sorry. Space Coast.
That's
Good
over
grief.
Cape Canaveral.
My glasses. Where did they go? I got them here somewhere. But anyway. There we go. I looked at the bigger screen up here. And he's had no contact for either one.
Yeah. Jacksonville and the East Coast, they're still going to get effects from it. It's still going to be at least a Cat 1 hurricane as it goes off the East Coast. But the northern side of it there is where everything's going to be pushing on shore.
Right.
So if you're north of there, toward Jacksonville, stuff like that, you're going to get a bit more maybe storm surge than you might have expected.
Right.
But I think their storm surge was only supposed to be forecast like 1 to 3 feet. But that's above ground level.
Yeah. So, folks, this is the best we can do. We're just trying to bring you up to date on this historic hurricane. It is the most powerful hurricane in recent memory, and probably one of the most powerful hurricanes to hit Florida in 100 years or more. And so it's not going to be anything to play with. Let's just hope that this eases those waters in the Gulf of Mexico. My winter weather outlook is now online and posted. If you get a chance, go over and read that, because this is a part of that, and it also helps to explain what will happen in the next coming weeks or so. Hopefully it's correct. I put a lot of research into it, did the best I could. Not going to be 100%, I'm sure, but it's the best I could come up with. So I hope that everybody enjoys it. I do want to take a real quick moment, talk about our sponsors. That is Michael Vance Contract and Roofing, 270-707-ROOF, and we got the severe storm season coming up for fall. It'd be a good time if you have any problem with your roof. Better get a hold of Mike there at 270-707-ROOF. Let him give you some pointers or some advice, or maybe even repair your roof. He also has Lakeside Campground Marina. The website is visitlakesidecampground.com. Be a nice place to go and visit, get away from it all, I'll tell you.
It sure would.
Yeah. And
Especially
then
with the weather like it is right now, with these wonderful temperatures and sunny skies.
Oh, boy, wouldn't that be beautiful? Also, don't forget our good friend Katie Moyer at Kentucky Hemp Works. I mean, they've got some product on our online store that's to kill for. They've got some kind of fishing attractant that I've heard a lot about. I keep talking about it, but I've heard some actual people who use it, and they say it is amazing. So that, and they got Firestarter, and they got that great salve on there that I absolutely love. It really helps heal anything that's wrong with you. If you got some achy joints, rub it on there, and you will tell a difference pretty soon. But anyway, let's see. Oh, I don't want to forget our big time,
Our newest and
the greatest Mid-South storm shelters. When the weather gets severe, have no fear, because, and I tell you what, I've got some pictures from them today of their storm shelters. I can't wait to get them online. You guys have got to see this. These guys have quality, not just storm shelters, but they have some quality storm shelters, and you've got to try that. Call them at 270-725-6020, and they will give you some pricing, and it's not nearly as expensive as I thought. I can tell you right now. But you know what? Even if it was, what is the price you would put on your loved one or even your own life if you've got a storm shelter, it's going to protect you against that severe weather, especially if we got severe weather coming for the fall, and then we got the spring severe season coming up. Gosh, I would not want to not have one of these. I'm going to get me one of those Mid-South storm shelters as soon as I can. And but they've got some nice stuff. I've looked at the pictures, and I'm just so impressed with what I saw. I was going to try to share them with you, but someone started to feed before I was ready. I won't say who.
That's because if I waited for Dave to be ready, we'd still be waiting.
Oh, nag. That's all I ever. No, actually, Mark's a good friend, so we're doing good.
Yeah, we just pick at each other a little bit.
Yeah, we always do. We have to. If we work together, you're going to pick at each other. Also, you can find some of the products, and we're going to have these guys in our online store too as soon as we can get it all worked up. Be sure and visit our online store at dpww.shop, and there's a QR code to scan it with your phone. It's a little disorganized. We're going to go in and do some works on it here pretty soon and make it a lot easier to move around in it. But I think you're going to really like some of the stuff you see in there. And we're fixing to add shirts. So if my friend Mermaid Cakes were on, well, I don't see her. But anyway, I guess that's about it. Chelsea Reese, she says she's sorry. She's at the hospital, going to miss us. I hate that you're in the hospital, Chelsea. I hope you're going to do well. And we'll be looking forward to seeing you when you get out. She's going to be in the hospital tonight, and I had actually talked to her a little earlier, or texted her. So I understand everything's going on with her. Let's see. Gary Pettis says, good information, David, Mark. Gary, I hope you're on the way to the meeting. But anyway, let me get back over. Let's look one more time at this camera here at Lakeside Campground Marina. Ugh. I can't say enough about how beautiful it is there. The pleasant temperatures, the blue skies, the calm waters, not much in the way of wind, 73 degrees. How can you ask for anything better?
Good grief.
At Michael
Why are
Vance,
we here instead of over there fishing?
that I don't know. At Michael Vance, well, Michael Vance didn't invite us for one thing. That's his place. But I'm sure he wouldn't care if we came. I'd like to go out there, and then next time we take this picture, you see a shot of me or you went out there with fishing in the camera. That would be funny. But anyway, also I want to take
David is a good calming picture, and with as bad as everything's looking down south, we probably need a calming picture right now.
Don't we all? So everybody, it's going to be okay. We're going to be all right. We're going to get through this, and better times are coming. Get in there and read that winter weather outlook. Please don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe to this stream and to the winter weather outlook. Oh, my goodness. You're going to see some stuff in there. And you get to see a surprise shot of me where I get to get out and play in the snow at the very last shot. Oh, well, anyway. I just thought you guys might like to see it. So let's see here. We'll go back over here. And let's see. I want to look real quick, see if the elevator cam is up. Beautiful day across Hopkinsville. This is southwestern Hopkinsville. The bulk of Hopkinsville is off to the right, so you can't see it, but this is the Kroger Shopping Plaza, and there's the Fort Campbell Boulevard. There's the Pennyrile Parkway, and on the other side here, you got all kinds. You got the Walmart. You got restaurants down through there.
And way off in the distance down there, over the tree line, is Fort Campbell.
Yep, Fort Campbell, right about over in there somewhere. But anyway, this is a beautiful afternoon. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Try to not think so much about the troubles going on to our south. I know it's hard if you've got family that's stuck out there and don't know what's going to happen to them, but nothing worse than worry, and nothing worse than worry at night. So if nothing else, say your prayers, and I promise you will be able to go to sleep eventually. But anyway, so Dave says, go sleigh riding. Ooh, that does sound like fun, don't it, Dave? So anyway, I hope to see all you guys again here pretty soon. And if nothing else, we'll see you tomorrow evening or sometime in the afternoon as we go through this, and hopefully everybody will be safe. Mark, any last words?
Everyone, again, if you have a chance to get a hold of friends and relatives down south Tampa area and across Central Florida and tell them to make sure they've taken preparations and take cover, please do so, because, as I said, Milton is not playing.
No, it's not. So Anyway, like I said, we'll get through it. Everything will get better. And we got some beautiful fall weather coming up in front of us. And we may get into some S-word stuff, but it'll be a little while yet. But it won't be as long as you think. So anyway, have a good evening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.